And for the backstage, what I want to introduce to you is the cameraman. So you can see we can change the camera. We can take the view of two of us. Say hi to the audience. Good morning, I am the backstage support. And we will go with you to introduce about Kun opera. And I am the anchor, the interviewer, and we are going to introduce to you the Kun opera. So we have a very beautiful and handsome gentleman here. So today we are going to use some humor ways to say hi to you on this Laba Festival. As we are in southern China, the cultural part of China. So I want to say that on this beautiful day, we may have a warm environment, a warmth in our heart. So today we have the best wishes to all of you for Laba Festival. If you have your own wishes, you can leave your comment on our platform. And since you are very talented in the words and wordings, maybe you are inspired here in this beautiful environment. And I want to share with you that in this kind of beautiful environment, as well as the beautiful, tasty Laba congee, maybe we can have a beautiful memory. So if we talk about Kun opera, what comes to your mind? So what I can think about is the speech. And there is an outstanding play called the Peony Pavilion. And in this play, we can have a kind of lyric, which is a sign on people's destiny and people's fate. So we have the beautiful environment, but we cannot complain about our fate. So this lyric has been very beautiful in terms of the Chinese literature perspective. And if we talk about melody, and I can think of a popular song. I thought you might think of the traditional tune of Kun opera, but what I think is a popular song. And for this popular song, it combines the tune of Kun opera as well as the Chinese elements. And we can see a lot of elements of popular songs have the elements of Kun opera. We can say that other forms of Chinese drama, as well as other artistic forms, will draw upon the elements of Kun opera. And this kind of practice may draw the attraction and attention of various young people. And I have sounded around, and I may want to ask all of you, what are your comments, feelings, and affections for the Kun opera? You can leave your comments on our platform, and he will actually pay attention to your comments. And the online platform has incorporated a very interesting comment. And his impression on Kun opera is two aspects. One is we can say that for Kun opera, it is a story of people's affections and emotions. And for the Kun opera, in his opinion, the foreigners also think Kun opera is for a kind of martial arts because we have very excellent performance. And this gives us a perspective in understanding how foreign peoples perceive Chinese traditional drama and theatrical performance. And a lot of Kun opera troupes have gone abroad with warm response. So it is also a topic we need to think about, how to make our Kun opera go abroad and go international. So may I ask your opinion on Kun opera? And for me personally, I think that for Kun opera, it offers a beautiful scene, a vivid scene. And the beauty of Kun opera lies in the speech and the melody, as well as the makeup, costume, as well as the instruments playing. And so today we focus on the stage and backstage, and we can have a first-hand experience. And we can imagine that we are in southern China, in Jiangnan area, this beautiful place. If we come back to the hometown of Kun opera, we need to listen to one piece of Kun opera, and you can imagine this kind of delicate and beautiful feeling.
顾维英老师演唱的。哎，顾老师您好，刚才我们已经欣赏到您的演出了。总体来说就是昆曲很美。
Performing actress, so the performance has been outstanding and elegant. So we are here today, so we want to know more about Kun opera. So here we have an event that people can have a first-hand experience of Kun opera. So today we are here. And under the red cloth, we have this kind of saying that for this we have the beautiful performance here, and we may enter into this building to see the whole stage and whole environment.
好，来，我们到楼上来看一下。
So we may go upstage.
刚才也说到了这个昆曲，它有100年的历史，然后一朝一夕。
And just now we have talked about the 100-year plus history of Kun opera and the elegant performance and gestures. It cannot be separated from daily life, as daily life is so beautiful, and for Kun opera we have beauty everywhere. And here we have a certain kind of design. We have the tea art. as well as we have the silk experience. Therefore, by this kind of combination, we can offer you an overall environment. A lot of the netizens have shared with us their impressions on Kun opera, and maybe we can refer to the speech technique of Kun opera to welcome all the netizens. So I want to use this kind of lyric that if you do not come here, you do not know what Kun opera is like. And maybe you can use a special technique in reading the speech. So I will improvise. So if you do not come here, you do not know Kun opera. So beautiful sound, and we can feel the elegance, the implications, and so we talk about this place, this birthplace of Kun opera, and we can feel this kind of environment. We talk about Kunshan as the hometown of Kun opera, and Bacheng, this city, it is the origin actually also. And we can see originating from this place, Kun opera has gone all across China. And in the new era, we can see Kun opera is the UNESCO intangible heritage of humanity. A lot of audience are interested in Kun opera. A lot of people may take pictures, the artistic pictures, wearing the similar costumes. And could you teach us a pose in Kun opera? So if we want to take pictures, so you can see you can use a circle shape here. You can watch my wrist. It is a circle shape. And for the 4 steps, you can move. So it shows the coordination of your eyes, your body, as well as all the body. So in addition to the circle shape, what kind of other techniques maybe we can learn and imitate? So it is not easy of using your wrists to draw this circle, and your eyes need to follow your finger, so it may be hard to coordinate. So I may have a try, and you can see the first step, second, third, and fourth step. And we will invite Tang Zeyi, Mr. Tang, the cameraman, to imitate, have a try on this kind of movement. So as you are a man, you have the male movement. So it is like a different circle. I may need more practice. And for the male and the female feature, they have different kind of movements. And the essence is for coordination and the circle shape. And a lot of effort need to be made for daily practice. And in actual exercise, actual practice, what are the guidelines or the thing we need to focus on? Maybe when I was practicing, I seem a kind of rigid, and we have a certain kind of movement and act for Kun opera, and we can see the rhythm is slow, and we have this kind of slow rhythm. And if you can stay here and you can show us the rhythm of Kun opera, and we will actually hit the table, and
后要唱的话，对节奏，唱的话呢就是比如说我们鸟情姹紫嫣红啊。
And if we want to sing, it is like
在节奏里边。
好的，谢谢。因为今天顾老师非常忙，有很多朋友过来要体验。
And we can see that Miss Gu here has a busy engagement because she will host a lot of visitors.
好嘞，谢谢。
So we can show us around. We can show you around.
很紧凑的时间，然后了解了一下昆曲，包括
So we have
身法步的协调、
spent
手势上。然后呢，也了解到了
a short time in understanding the coordination of the eyes and body movement, and we can also have a glimpse of the rhythm of Kun opera. So we also need to focus on the makeup and costumes of Kun opera. So maybe we can have a view on how they dress up before they go on to the stage, the actors, how they dress up.
好，你好。你好，这是我们的化妆师。
Good morning.
来看一下，今天是
So this is
跟我们大家来打个招呼好吗
for the makeup of Kun opera.
正在扮上。
Please say hi to our audience.
大家好。你叫什么名字？
Is it a convenient
今年几岁啦？
time?
你什么时候
I'm Xing Yunxi. I'm 9 years old. And I have started to learn Kun opera since I was 7. I have learned 2 years.
几岁的时候？
And I have performed on the stage
你看这个头饰
back when I was 8 years ago, 8 years old, just 1 year ago. So for the makeup, is it heavy? It is heavy, but it does not hurt.
头饰很美。
So may I ask the dresser?
是不是已经属于到
So for the
这
whole
边来看？
accessory, it is so beautiful, the whole headwear. So now it is at the very end of the process.
来，到
So
这边
this
来。
is the mother of this young girl. So please say hi to our audience.
主要分成3个部分，有它的妆面。
So we can see there are 3 parts for the making up. We can see the facial makeup, the headwear, as well as the costume.
也看看我们俩比较一下这个肤色
So
从
for
镜子当中比较
daily
看
purpose,
这个呢就会偏黄一些，它就会偏
we
黄
have
一些
the
想问问我们
liquid
使用的是粉
foundation,
液那它的
but
上
you can
妆
see the
用的是
color
什么
is
材料
different. For the makeup of Kun opera performers, they have the special
粉然后它们是
paints,
那油彩画上去以后
and
会就是很难
the
卸妆
paints,
应该现在的卸妆的都是很
will it be easy or difficult to get rid of? The current paints are rather good. It is not so difficult to remove this kind of makeup. And for paints, will it be harmful to the skin?
油性比较大。
Previously, we use Vaseline to separate the paint and the skin. And the Vaseline will block the
哎，这个也可以分享给我们
will
的网友
block
作为
the
一个
pore
辅助的小
so
技巧
that the paints will not enter inside, so that it can protect our face. And now we have
就是妆面的
improved our technique, and we can have a better screen. And for the makeup, are there any things we need to focus
画
on?
了眼线，但是
So
我眼线呢是在眼
The
尾上方挑起，
design need to be very neat.
最后这个拉出来
And we can see that
我们的平时的眼睛都是
the
戏曲舞台上面要把它有那个眼睛
eyeliner is different from what we have on our daily basis. And you can see the eyeliner is slightly up forward and upward. You can see it shows the spirit and energy of the performer. Because if we have brighter eyes, we have the upward eyeliner. It shows that the performer is more
介
energetic.
绍手眼身法步。
So for today's show, we have also introduced about the coordination between the eyes, the bodies, and the movements. So it requires very energetic and emotional eyes. So by this kind of eyeliner, we can add to the emotions and expressions of the performer's eyes. So the next step is to put on the costume, the clothes and the shoes. So now we will talk about the headwear. So you can see that for the hair on the temples, maybe there is also a kind of reflection. It is humid, wet. So this is the real hair. It is also a kind of wig, but it is made from the real hair of human being, and we apply that to the temples. And for currently, we may have a guess. It is like we attach this batch of the wig or the hair to the face. So what we use to attach this wig to the face? Is it glue or other element? So we have different kind of guesses. And at the very beginning of Kun opera, we do not have so many materials like glues, different kind of glue. So we may have this kind of suspension for your time to think and to have your answer on the online platform. So what kind of things the ancient performers used to attach this kind of wig or hair to the face? So today we talk about the headwear. It is a little bit heavy. So how can we apply this kind of headwear? There are several steps, 7 or 8 of them. First, we will have a cloth to tie to the head. And this kind of cloth is to make the face tighter and to make the eyes to slightly upward. So this is this kind of cloth, and it can wrap up the hair of the performer. So it may be very tight so that it will not fall off. In ancient times, we do not have glue, but we need to tie very tightly. So the performer back then may feel uncomfortable, but today we have better techniques. We apply certain kind of glue. And in the making up process, we have innovations and we have modern techniques. So please say hi, the mother of the young performer. So we talk about this young girl starting to learn Kun opera since 7 years old. So why did you ask her to learn to perform? It was actually not intended. Once we have watched a performance and she felt it was beautiful and she asked to learn. So why did you feel that Kun opera was beautiful? Is it the tune or the movement? We can see the costume, actually the makeup, as well as the tune, the speech, the movement. So we have learned a certain kind of movement. So could you show us one of your movements? So you can have a glimpse.
这样的画圆，把手放到这边，很好，很漂亮。
So this is also a kind of circle, putting your hand next to your face.
来问一下，刚才就是女儿也说到了，她自己很喜欢。
And may I ask that your daughter, she likes Kun opera, but we can see this kind of cloth.
是什么感觉？
Have you tried it? I have. So how do you feel? If we apply it appropriately, it feels comfortable, but if we have done it the wrong way, it is really uncomfortable.
的表演其实如果唱完整下来，可能
And for the Kun opera performance,
挺长的。对，那其实
for one performance, it may last for several hours.
孙悟空。
So if we imagine
然后
that
有的时候可能我们工作比较忙的时候也会头胀，想一想头胀的那种
we
感
can
觉。
see
像
for
小朋友他在演出
how your head will feel to wear this cloth for several hours.
的就是挺难
So
受。
will your daughter encounter certain situations where the cloth make her really uncomfortable? If you tie it here, for one performance, it lasted for 6 or 7 hours,
当时你看到了是不是？
and the one of the headwear was sticking even towards the head, and she was even bleeding. So I felt so sad back then.
疼啊，就说
And would you actually hesitate? So maybe just giving up?
但是说就是他如果
There was 1 second that I thought of this,
我就说
but I thought that it was not so easy for her to have persevered. But she has always insisted on continuing. I was moved, and I think that she has grown up.
每天也是要去练的，包括刚才
And we can see that to learn the performance, it is effort-taking, and it may help the
有请出
children to forge their character.
因为我这个发型就是勒了
So we will invite Mr. Tang Zeyi, our cameraman, to
然后他们是短头发，我们请化妆老
have
师来帮
to show us about how to apply this cloth,
勒一下，哎，体验一下。
to have a try of this piece of cloth tying to the
问
head.
问小朋友哈，有没有什么你的诀窍或者经验要
So
跟
may
我
I
们这个
ask
摄像老师
you,
来说一
this
说
young girl, so what kind of things you want to share with
我
him?
看到他嘴型了，他说忍。
And the girl was saying, you just to bear with it. You need to open your mouth.
张开嘴巴
Why?
放松一点。
我张开了。
Because if you open your mouth, it may be less tight.
来感受一下。
So it is like ancient time, we do not use glue, we just tie
现
it.
在感觉我的头被东西提着。
So how do you feel?
会有酸胀感。
I feel that my head was lifted,
一点点啊，小微一点点。
and now I think it is a little bit tight.
有了，有。
你看看这个头皮，大家看。
And now I have this feeling. It is really tight. You can see the skin on the head.
我能坚持一会儿，我能坚持一会
It is actually bulging. If you cannot persevere, we will untie you.
大概多长时
But
间就
now
行
the situation is
10分钟
rather
就行那
tolerable.
你需不需要绑10分钟？
About 10 minutes, he cannot
不用10分钟。
就是已经能
bear, he cannot
感受到他们那种1-2个小时绝对
sustain.
这种感觉。现在
So I can feel that for 1 or 2 hours, maybe the head may feel so uncomfortable.
所以这是要做头发，这是叫包头嘛？来，
So this
说一
is
下这个上妆前的感受。
那个我包了个头，我感觉比那
So
个
please share with us how you feel.
比那个
I
戴帽子
think
可能要
that
痛苦好多倍。
It is much more difficult and uncomfortable to tie this cloth than wearing a hat or having a haircut. And we can see that to tie this cloth, it may be very tight and it will feel really uncomfortable. And we can see that the skin was even bulging.
当中有什么体验，我和唐泽也都会。
And
网友
during
如果
our
想让
live
我们
show,
去帮你们
if
来
we
体验
have any
就
kind of
欢迎我们
experience, we may share with you.
好，现在大家
And
开
if
始
you
要换
want
服装了，
to,
是不是？
the audience, if you want to ask us
演
to
的是唱的
have certain experience, you can leave your comments on the online platform. And for today's performance, I am performing the Peony Pavilion. So for each performance, will your mother come with you? Sometimes. So your first performance, it is when you were 8 years old? Yes. And she is accustomed to having this kind of feeling like performing when she was facing the camera. And here we can see that for wearing the dress, it is still very tight. So we can see the beautiful figure of the performer. So now we can see all the beauty comes with effort. And this beauty is from inner side to the appearance. So we can see your daughter, she needs to go to school. So will it take so much time, or does she have enough time? For each morning, she will spend half an hour to sing. But we can see now it is cold, and to get up earlier, half an hour, it is rather difficult. For every morning, she will use about half an hour to exercise her voice, to train her voice. So when she was 8 years old, she performed for the first time. So how many auditions? About 300 audiences. So it was a major event for a young girl like you. So seeing so many people in the audience seats, seeing the lights, the stage, are you nervous? Were you nervous? Not so nervous. It is rather good. But for the mother, I'm really nervous. I'm nervous for her. For my first performance, I was okay, but my parents were so nervous. And when my daughter, when she was performing for the first time, I could not sleep well. I will be worried about the possible failures or the influence or any other things. Now we can see the young girl, the young performer, will go up the stage. And would you go with her? Yes. So for our previous question, previous guests, so we have this guess about what kind of things we use to apply this wig hair to the face. And we use a kind of tree skin. The skin of elm. We use that. So it is rather sticky. The bark of elm. And it is like the modern age mousse. So we will have boiled water, very hot boiled water, to soak the elm bark, and we can have the sticky elements coming out. And after half an hour, we can see the sticky elements will come out. And we can use it to apply the wig to the face. It is the ancient mousse. It is the elm bark, and we soak it with hot water. After half an hour, the sticky elements will come out. And it must be too sticky because the performance will last for several hours. Normally, it will last for 2 hours. And we can see the young performer, the headwear is heavy, and we have so many accessories on the headwear. So it is different from the previous days. For the previous days, we use a kind of flower hair to make such kind of headwear accessory. But now we are protecting the birds, so we use silk instead. But with the state light, it is similar effect. We can see for Kun opera, it has about more than 100 years of history, and it is the origin, the oldest form of traditional Chinese opera. So we can see we have an upward eyeliner, we have different kind of costumes, headwears. We use modern techniques, so we can see the development. And we can see for the headwear for this girl, for today's performance, is it different from other performers. So today, the young girl was performing a very rich lady, so all the headwear, all the accessories are for the rich ladies. But if we have a role of poor woman, we cannot have this kind of accessory. It needs to be in line with the roles and plots, the headwear, the accessories, the costumes. All this need to be in line with the figure and plots. So we can see that. Do you have some costume that I can have a try? So this is the embroidery, stitch work on the silk. So it is totally man-made using our hands for the stitches. So you can see for the beautiful clothes coming along with the beautiful performance, it is a kind of art. And just now we have watched a part of the Peony Pavilion, and we can see that the costumes are different. The color, the pattern is different. We can see that for this yellow costume, we can see that for different performer, for different act, they will have different color. And for the yellow one, it is actually for the opening act, opening session. And you can see the pattern here, the flower. And you can see it is for orchid pattern. So for other act, even for the same figure, we can see that maybe we have butterflies. And we can see in the Peony Pavilion, we have this kind of an act about a sudden dream. And if we talk about a dream, we always use butterflies. And now people have a modern taste. So we combine the modern and the ancient. And now you can see the clothes are really beautiful. And this is a female lead for the yellow, and orchid, and then we have the butterfly and light blue. And for the butterfly dream, we have the clothes in light blue or white. So we can see the clothes, the makeup. They are not spoken, but they can serve the expression. They can serve the plot. We can see if we have light blue and butterfly, we can see it is also a complementary expression. And we have even the pattern of clouds. This is for clouds in traditional Chinese expression. And for the clouds pattern, we may have white for the clothes and this kind of cloud pattern. And for Kun opera, we emphasize on the elegance part. So we use these light colors. And upon first sight, people may fall in love with Kun opera because it is so beautiful. So we hope that for today, you can have a feeling for the Kun opera's beauty. But for me, it is not possible for me to become a professional, but we can learn and we can feel. So I will try this on. So I can have a feel for this. And if you wear these clothes, it feels different. You have a different aura. Please say hi to the audience. Good morning. I'm playing the musical instrument, the Chinese zither, for the ancient lute. And you can see, you can pass me the cameraman. And may I ask that, so for the sleeve, so we have certain performance technique for the sleeve. How can I adjust the sleeves? So we can fold and unfold it. And you need to have a certain kind of hand gesture. It feels like I cannot move really wearing this costume. And we have the orchid-shaped fingers. You can see you put a hand here, and it feels better. And I will hold the microphone. And we are on a live show for CGTN, and we can have this kind of experience. And the lead performer, she is introducing about this makeup, this room. And we talk about the, we have the traditional Chinese musical instruments here. And everyone here can listen to Miss Gu, listen to the lead female performer to introduce about the Kun opera. The young girl is back. Are you free now? She cannot get through. So I will help you with your clothes. And her mother is back. Could you show me? So I have my sleeves like this. So what kind of pose I can take? Previously, I was taught that there is a circle shape. So could you teach me once more for this kind of gesture? And next, you need to take small steps. And I can show you very small steps. And for the opening pose, it is like a dance performance. Is it like a dance performance? Yeah. So if I do it like this, so how is it? Is it good? I think that maybe it is me that is performing, that you can forgive me for the amateur performance. But I will also invite my cameraman to play a female role. And you can learn from a girl performer. And for a male role, it is different. We will try an easier one. The easiest one, actually. For what you don't need to move. So are you ready? We will start again. And this opening pose. And from my perspective, you can see it is easier to follow. And you can see the overall gesture. It may look a little bit funny. So I will ask you a difficult question. So I have my pose, and for the cameraman, he has his pose. So who is better? I think both are good. But you have to choose. The difficulty thing is that you need to choose between me and him. But I don't know about the male figure thing. I know that I'm better because the girl will not criticize you. So what I have shown the gentleman, it may not be so accurate. So I feel that for you, you are better. So what you have done is appropriate, is roughly good. Thank you for your praise. And I can see for the netizens, you can have your own opinion. So between the two of us, I am good or he is good. You can have your own opinion. And we can see for today, we come nearer to the Kun opera. And I like it. I have a better understanding. So may I ask that just now we can see that the performers will have the microphone attached. We can see if we do not use microphone, there is no response or echo. But if you perform on the stage, you will have the relay echo, and it may be a distraction. So for the first time when she go on the stage, maybe have you tried in a karaoke bar or in other scenes to get used to this echo? For the first time when she went on the stage, she was stunned, surprised, but she adjusted and adapted. So maybe on the stage we have different kind of accidents or unexpected things, but adapting to these things are important. I am really satisfied about how she adapted. I asked why she didn't pay any attention, but she said that she just followed her instructions and exercises. So she remained calm on the stage. We can see that learning Kun opera, it may be helpful for the children to forge their character. We can see we apply this cloth to the hair. It may help the girl to be strong, calm, and to have a good character. So for last year, she went on the stage for the first time. And the girl was not nervous, but the mother was really nervous. And now the girl will come on the stage. And are you still nervous? I am not that nervous because so many times of performance. So what I care is how she will play on the stage. Although she has a lot of exercise, but on the stage it is different. So I will focus on her movement, her figure, and her voice. So for each morning, she will have half an hour to exercise her voice. So before you go on the stage, could you show us how you sing, how you exercise your voice in the morning? So for this voice, it is really amazing because for whenever we hear this voice, we may hear the combination of the human voice and the microphone. But for today, on the spot, we can hear the pure human voice. You can see different turns of the voice. It is like we pull out and then pull back. So it is not like we seek the maximum volume, but it is like we have different turns of the voice. We will have the speech in the morning session exercise. So would you show us? I will show you one paragraph, a speech about 3 to 4 minutes, but we can choose a shorter one, several lines.
春夏不到远离，暂居春色序。
真的很棒哎！但是可能很多网友和我一样，想要问问刚才那一段念白，然后帮我们来解说一下。
Many of the audience may want to ask what the speech is all about. What does it mean? It is a lady speaking to her maid. So if you do not come to this beautiful garden, you may not know spring, what spring is like. So we can say that there is a in-depth literature background for the Kun opera speech. It may be difficult to recite even for adults. So when the young girl, she was 7 when she started, so how could she remember and recite these kind of lyrics? I think it is rather interesting or even amazing. Because after listening for several times of the lyrics, she can remember. So I have my own children. Sometimes I feel it is amazing that the children can learn some materials out of a sudden. So I do not specifically explain, but my children can remember the lyric, remember the lines. So I also want to ask your daughter, ask this young performer, so do you have certain techniques to recite and remember the lyrics? So you listen, and only naturally you can remember. So when I started, I do not recognize Chinese characters. I just recite. So are you following the beat, following the rhythm, or do you have other tricks? So if you study the lyric, do you understand? Although I don't understand, I can listen and the lyrics go with the tune and I can remember. So we may have certain experience that we can say that when we prepare for certain exams, we may actually sing the text to the tune, and it is easier to remember the contents if we can change it into a song. So are there any occasions you forget the lyrics? No. So will you be concerned? No, because I have confidence in her. She has a lot of practice. After school ends, she will have the performance. And when she was doing the homework, she will sing. And it is just naturally. And from the very early stage, she actually can learn and absorb the Kun opera. So now we are near the imminent performance, and we can have a glimpse of how this girl performer will go on the stage and perform. So you can see I have learned a pose, and this is what I get from today's show. Have you tried yourself? So if you want to take a costume picture, you can have a professional pose. So we can see this one. What is it? It is for the maid. You can see for different social status, we have different costumes. It is not for the lady, but for the maid. And here it is also for the maid. You can tie to the. To the body. You can see different kind of hardware. Here we use the silk instead of bird feather, and it is a kind of decoration purpose. So. So just now we have learned about the makeup, the headwear, and the costume. And after all this, we will ask for a piece of performance. So combined with the light, the costume, we may have a better taste.
人间
On the stage, and now we can listen to the speeches by the guest speakers. So we talk about the passing down of the Kun opera. So we can see the performance. The artists are the most beautiful in passing down this heritage. And
顾魏英老师呢，她自己也是
so
昆山人，
Miss Gu Weiying,
从小就学
she is from
昆曲，现在是
Kunshan,
北方昆
and
剧院
she
的国
has
家
learned
演员。
Kun
然后现在呢，
opera
她回到了自己
from
的
very
家乡
early age, 当
然
and
是
she is the
她原来
first
现在还是
grade performer
昆剧院
of
的
the
演
Northern
员
Kun
然后
Opera
在她
Academy,
抽
and
空的
now
时
she
候都
has
会回到
returned
家
back
乡
to the
来给家乡
Kunshan,
父老乡亲
to the
像
hometown,
传承这个
and
昆曲
if
艺
she
术
has
今
time,
天呢就是这
she
样
will
这样的
actually
活动
advocate and introduce Kun opera back in this town. And today it is a similar event.
前排刚才在前排介绍
And
到的
you
张
can
继
see
清
that standing in the front row, sitting in the front row, it is Zhang Jiqing.
对
And we can see that
做了很多的创新发展。
she has made certain innovations in Kun opera, and she has arranged a
演出之前呢，
play called the Young Age Peony Pavilion. Before that show,
所以他应该
people think that Kun opera is the living fossil, and we need to remain the same all along. But for Zhang Jiqiu, she has made certain innovations and adaptations,
戏一出，引发出了很多的。
and this show has drawn a warm response.
去往这边来看一看。
And we can go here,
这个叫做一旦游戏，这
and we talk about
一旦游戏是因为就是旦角儿哈。我们来看一看
the female figure.
在这里，
You can see the headwear.
来帮我们介绍一下。
This is for the headwear for the queen and for the mistress of the king, of the emperor in ancient China. So you can see the different feature. We have 3 phoenix on this headwear. 3 phoenix on the headwear can count, and that is for the mistress. For the highest ranking imperial concubine with the 3 phoenix. And you can see we also use silk instead of bird feather. And this is for the imperial concubine, and it will weigh about 3 to 4 kilograms. And you can see here, this is for the emperor of the Tang dynasty. You can see for this emperor's headwear, you can see different features. And this is a beard for the actually male figure, middle-aged male figure. And here we can see this is for young female figure. We have talked about the diamond. The crystal and diamond. And we can see that although it is shining, but if we rank it, we say that for this crystal-like headwear, it is actually inferior to those silk headwear. If we talk about the status for the rose. And for this set of headwear, for the red color, it is for young ladies, young maids or young ladies. And for this one, it is to wear on top of the head. And for the 2 on the side, it is to be attached to near people's ears. So you can imagine that for this set, it is for a young maid, but you can imagine the beauty of it. And here, these 3 is a set. And the right one on top of the head, and we can see it is to be attached to the back of your head. And we have the female figure or Dan character. And for the female figure or Dan figure, we have 5 categories. And this one, Lao Dan, the old age female figure. We always talk about the mother figure, old age female. And here, may I ask that for the old age female figure, so what are the characteristics for the makeup? And if we talk about Lao Dan, they do not have the wig or the hair attached to their temples. And for different old female figure, they have different headwear. So you can see for this row, the hair is not totally black. We have different kind of hair color. And if we have even older age, the hair will be gray or white. And you can see these colored cloth. Now it is purple, but we can see for even older age, we have different kind of color, even darker color. And may I ask, here we talk about 武旦. It is for the lady figure. The lady who has not married. So it is like what Miss Gu Weiying has played, or the lead female figure in the Peony Pavilion. So we talk about Wu Dan. It is for the lady figure before their marriage. We talk about different plays. We talk about different play, including the Peony Pavilion, as well as for the different plays. And for this place, they have the lead female figure, which is not married. And you can see for this headwear, it uses silk.
哎，我们来看看，现在先来插播一下张继青老师，看看现在张继青老师
we may cut in and listen to the speech and donation ceremony of Zhang Jiqing. And if you come here again, you can have a glimpse of what is donated here. So the donation is a fan, because a fan is an important element in the performance, including the Peach Blossom fan play. And we can see, we hope that with passing down this fan, we hope that the art can be passed down generation after generation. And Zhang Jiqing is actually the tutor of Miss Gu Weiying. So we talk about the mouth-to-mouth passing down. So it is a rare occasion for the tutor and the acting performer to be on the same stage. And behind this door, we can see these girl performers. So these are for the 3 generations. So what kind of gifts have you prepared? So we have prepared a melody by Yu Su Pu. And this melody, this music score will be a treasure, because as for the performers, we focus on the melody so much, it even accounts for half of the success of a play. Therefore, we are giving this kind of musical score, and with this excellent score, we may use it as a model for us to better all melodies. And we can see that we have the old generation excellent artists and performers. They are here, but we can say today's gifts, they are just things, but what counts is the passing down of the spirit. So we need this spirit, which can pass down from today to tomorrow, from one generation to another. So we are inviting this expert, Ms. Zhang Jinqian, to be a standing counselor for this kind of Kun Opera Association. We can see that with the support of the actors, we can see that for all offers for this kind of association, it can gain more momentum, and we can contribute more to the development of Kun Opera. We will invite Mr. Xu Hongsheng from the media section of Kunshan government.